Is there any money in signwriting and wrapping vehicles? Well, we're going to find out as we speak to Matt. He sold one of his businesses for £150,000 when he was just 22. He's going again. He's sleeping on the factory floor as he tries to build this business in the most frugal way he knows possible. He's got some questions for us. He wants to grow the business, and we're going to try and help him. Strap yourselves in. Hello, JB. Welcome back to the Business Broadcast, the podcast designed to help grow your business.
Hi, JS.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the personalised welcome there. You want to welcome the audience at all?
Welcome audience to this here podcast, the podcast designed to help grow your business. We've got lots
I
to
wonder
get
if
through.
people can notice when we're doing batch recordings, when you've had to have a little break for important conversations and then you have to come back to do more podcast recordings.
Yeah, I do actually. I find it very difficult to get on with my day because we do so many.
Yeah,
batch.
these days are tricky, aren't they?
Yeah, because things are time sensitive sometimes, aren't they? So we are speaking to Matt Willman today. Tell us all about it, JB.
Right, so he has got a company called Rap Cartel, and not rap like rap music, rap like rapping cars.
Oh, I thought it was like chicken wraps, smoky bacon wraps.
No, not your kind of rap, I'm afraid. So rap-cartel.com, this is the business we're talking about today. Been going.
If you could tell us all the answers in rap, that'd be great.
It's been going 2 years. Estimated monthly revenue was 25,000 G's. If he's got team members of someone, how many? He's got 5. Look at Charles' face like, no. Right, I can't rap it. The Rap Cartel, so they do wrapped cars. He's been going for just under 2 years. This is an interesting story though, right? So they're doing 25,000 squidaroonies a month already. Yeah. 5 team members. He's already done this before. This is not Matt's first rapping rodeo. He was based down in Horsham, down south, and had a rap company. Sold it, took his money, went and did some property stuff. Didn't like the property stuff. No. Property stuff didn't go as according to plan. So he's gone back into the rap game. No, it's definitely not, is it? So he's now, then there was an opportunity for him to work with a new business partner up north, and that is what he has done. So he has gone up north to plough his furrow.
Proper entrepreneur. I'm going to go up north because that's where the opportunities are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Why bloody not, eh? Biggest challenge. I've been watching this podcast for over a year, and cash flow is always most people's biggest issue. However, despite the business being a limited company, me being in a personal IVA, definitely restricts most kinds of lending I would have previously had access to. Maybe to move things forward as quick as I would like. On the positive side, it has forced me to get creative and push on making sure we generate the cash we need every month. So that's an IVA.
So sold, involuntary. No,
it's a voluntary arrangement, isn't it? And insolvent voluntary arrangement, I'm sure, an IVA.
Just give us the exact what it is for an IVA. I mean, that's very precarious what Chud's doing with a big bottle of water in front of a very expensive Mac.
What do you want me to Google exactly?
What does IVA stand for?
I think it's an insolvent voluntary action.
Arrangement.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Let me try again.
Put IVA
got a medical term.
Yeah.
Individual voluntary arrangement.
There you go. Yes. Individual. So basically if you've gone...
So it's your decision, is it?
Yeah, so you haven't gone bankrupt. You've decided to fold up your debts into an arrangement is what I believe it meant to be. We can ask Matt.
He sold his business, so maybe he didn't do very well out of the sale.
Well, I think he'd done it right out of the sale, then went into property. I think he was doing some development stuff, and I think that might be had gone sideways. We'll find out from Matt in a second. So that is the challenge that he's got at the moment. He can't get lending like he would have done previously for his previous company. Second biggest challenge, I'm struggling to think of a model to generate a consistent monthly recurring revenue alongside what I do. There's no consistency in the work that we do, so it's very difficult to predict and plan as you don't know what will be coming through the door. Obviously, in terms of car wrapping, you think you wrap your car once, you're probably going to not need it wrapped again for 3 years, if at all. Because I think they last quite a while, these wrap things, don't they? As long as you don't sort of like wash it in a certain way. Third biggest challenge.
Very expensive to have vehicles wrapped.
It is expensive.
Very laborious. I've watched them do it.
Yeah.
Because the materials are nowhere near as much as the time it takes to do.
No, it is a proper art form, isn't it? Third biggest challenge, reaching out to the right people within the bigger companies to get to the bigger contracts. Where do you want to be in 1 year's time? He wants to have a reliable team that can free me up to be off the tools 2 to 3 days a week to concentrate on generating new business and developing new ideas. So I think he's actually back in the business this time around. What does business look like when it is finished? He said a thriving business with a solid team generating £1 million in turnover, regular fleet contracts, and a good consistent flow of new and old customers. Owning a premises that we operate from, an engaging and interesting YouTube channel, as well as an online and in-person rap training course, which could also be used to recruit new talent. Becoming a well-recognised and leading name in the industry. Do you make the profit you want to make? And if so, what is it? He said, ish. At the time of writing, I've been living in the industrial unit we operate from. Wow. Okay. I've been living in the industrial unit that we operate from, and I have been since day one. However, that's soon to change, hopefully. We're continually reinvesting every bit of cash we have, as pretty much every new business does. But on paper...
This is what I want government to listen to.
Rachel
This
Reeves,
is what
are
I
you
want
listening?
government to listen to. The delayed gratification of entrepreneurs and business
He
owners.
is living in an industrial estate to make this thing work, and he's employing 5 other people. So everyone else is getting paid.
Yeah, this is what entrepreneurs this is
Willing to do. Willing to do.
Everyone looks at the end result.
Yeah. But when you tax the rich.
So everyone looks
tax
at the
rich.
doctors and the lawyers,
Yeah,
when they're earning the big bucks, but they forget the 11 years of training and earning not very much
Sleeping
money.
on the shop floor, literally sleeping on the shop floor to make this work. This is, And this is a lot of businesses, isn't it? You know, Hormozy talks about in his content, doesn't he? Slept in the back of the gym for 6 months to make it happen. You had all your first team lived in your house, didn't they?
Yes.
To make it happen. Yeah. Well, so he says we're continually reinvesting every bit of cash that we have. As pretty much every new business does, but on paper it's between $2,000 to $5,000 a month currently. That's the profit that they're making. How do you spend your day-to-day time in the business? We also ask our entrepreneurs that. So currently 80% of the time is spent on the tools, and the other 20% of the time working on tasks to generate new business or ideas that could be on the road on the visiting new businesses or working with the media team to create new ads and content. And then there's a bunch of questions he'd like to ask you. This is someone who's properly in it. Properly in it. Right, before we get to getting Matt on the show, I'm very interested in this conversation. There is a knock at the door. It's time for this.
Interesting quote of fact. Interesting quote of fact. It's time for the interesting quote of fact of the week.
We got Charlie.
I've got a quote, and this time you're going to like it. You're not going to have to decipher it. And you and your miserable mate Chuds are both going to go, yeah, fair play, that's good.
Yeah, well I'm
ready
going
for it?
quote as
Of
well.
course
You go
not.
first. You go first.
How many quotes did you get sent through today, lazy ass? How many did you get? Get a few?
I've got loads.
Oh, of course, man. Yeah. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
The best preparation for tomorrow. Hang on, I need this. The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today.
I wasn't listening. Say it
I
again.
know you bloody weren't.
Hang on, say it one more time.
The best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. You still weren't listening, were you?
Well, I mean,
You're one of them people that you don't stop talking to listen to others. You're waiting for your next opportunity to talk, aren't you? As my father used to say to me,
no.
you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it in that ratio, young
No,
man.
because if Jim Rome was sitting next to me, I would be
Go
listening.
on, do your Jim impression.
No.
I love it. Come on then.
I
you
love
like
this
that one,
one.
Chuds? But
I thought that was quite good, yeah.
I've got a fact for you and a
Why
quote.
bother? I don't know why bother.
I've got a fact and a
Fact
quote.
and a quote. Go on then.
I remember this. This is such a good joke. Half of the cashew, sounds like a joke, this, doesn't it? Half of the cashew nuts sold in the world are sold at Costco. I just love
Are
that. Yeah.
That is
Half of the world's cashew nuts
ridiculous.
are sold in Costco. Costco spends $0 on marketing as well.
That's unbelievable. Half of the cashew nuts.
I like this one from Losh UK. Very good quote. This. Never heard this one. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better.
Oh, I like that.
It's a good one, isn't it? Do you like that, Chance?
Sorry, I'm too busy Googling your previous fact because I just can't quite believe it.
Is it true?
Yes, it's a common fact stated online that Costco sells approximately half of the world's cashew nuts. This claim is often presented as a shocking fact about the retailer's scale. Some of the sources even indicate that Costco sells about 50% of the world's supply of a specific popular cashew variety.
There's varieties of cashews. I thought cashew was just a
Apparently.
blanket statement. Wow.
No, I've got
Yeah. I mean, sorry, back and forth, few sources. It is probably true. Is what he's saying. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, my favourite Costco fact still is it's a company bigger than Nike and Disney combined. I find that mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's actually 5 times bigger than Nike, and I think 3 times bigger than Disney. Really? You just can't believe it, can you? Like, it's what Chuds is having to do there.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't believe
That is the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of like frowed brow. Like,
What,
really?
JB, what revenue do you think Disney is?
I know. Go on, I know this.
Do you think Disney, which one do you think is bigger, Disney or Nike?
Disney.
See, I would have said Nike.
No. Disney's about 85 billion worldwide last time I checked. What's it, Chance?
Revenue increased by 4.8% to 25 billion, sorry.
Disney.
25 billion, is that all?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Disney is way more than 25 billion, Chance. It's about 83 billion. Unless you're checking just in.
This was February the 5th, 2025. The Walt Disney Company reports first quarter earnings, 5% increase.
Oh, that's a quarter. You got times. But if you put, what's the global annual revenues of the Walt Disney Company?
Yeah, annual.
James Sinclair. I'm a big studier of Disney and Nike and Costco. It's about 55 billion annual
Let me do
revenues.
2024 then.
55 billion for
Oh,
Nike.
yeah. 91 billion in dollars.
I hate that smug face.
And
I
Nike,
hate
do
it.
you know what that is?
About 55 billion annual.
51.
About 51. I'm only 4 billion off, and that's
Well,
what
what
I say
is
to my
Costco?
bankers.
Yeah, and Costco, JB?
280 billion.
Oh, you got to hate him, haven't you? 250.
That is ridiculous, isn't it? Annual, that's annual revenue. How many stores do they even have? Like, I know there's a big one at Lakeside and there's one in Croydon near me. I think that's about it. Oh, like,
I'll tell you what's even more amazing is you can't easily buy from them.
No.
You have to,
Like, it actually
you
makes
have
it
to
quite
pay
difficult.
to
Yeah.
buy from them. It's
How
just-
many UK stores are there for Costco?
I don't know that. I actually don't know
Have
that.
a guess. Go on, Jim.
I reckon,
Couple of hundred?
no, 25.
How do you do it? 29.
There's 29. How many global stores are there?
Take a guess. I've got it here.
It's not that many. It's like the IKEA
If
one.
you get this accurate, I swear to God.
I don't know the answer to that one.
Come on, throw a number out there. I want you to be so wrong.
How many countries are there in the world?
Oh, I don't know.
190 odd, isn't there? Most of them you couldn't pronounce. Or they're so small you wouldn't know about them.
The problem with Costco is
Turkmenistan, do
it's
you know that's a
doing
country?
very well in China. It's growing in China. I don't know, 2,500.
890.
No way. So divide the big number by that. How much is that on average per store?
Oh, it's massive.
That
and then
is
what's
crazy.
really amazing about Costco, and that's why I study them so much, their like for like sales are unbelievable.
Okay, here's a dilemma.
But do you remember that we done the IKEA one? There was some amazing facts about IKEA. Like IKEA have got a tiny amount of stores.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, what did we find out about IKEA? Do you remember that they're the biggest restaurant chain in the world?
That's
technically?
right.
Don't they
yeah,
sell
that's
the most
it.
meatballs? or
That's
something
it,
like
yeah.
It's just
So let's say, for example, Costco, they've been watching your content, they're loving it. They're going, this guy's the guy. And Mr. Costco steps down. Johnny Costco steps down. And they go, right, Sinclair, let's get him to sell a few bits. Then you get a phone call. Ring, ring. Hello, James Sinclair speaking. Hey, it's Donnie Costco here. Hey, James Sinclair, I've been watching YouTube. I think you should have more than 109,000 subscribers, FYI. We're looking for a new CEO for our 800 stores globally. Are you in? 1% revenue as the base salary.
no.
What say you?
1% of revenue. I think I'd have to consider it then.
What are you saying?
Sol is the founder of really getting Costco going. Sol, I can't remember his surname. But, they're very, just outstanding.
Would you do
business.
it if a big company like that you
I
loved
don't think I'd
came
be
in?
very good at it
Why not?
because I don't understand retail. That's not my skill set.
Would you ever do like a big CEO job of a company that
No, I don't
of
think
something
so.
that you didn't
No.
start?
It's
Would
not
you
my, no, it's not my thing.
What about for 10 million a year? 20 million a year, final offer. Shake my hand on it.
It's just whether you feel fulfilled. Look, success.
Merlin
is about,
Group. So that's like saying you've been
I
around.
definitely don't want to do that.
Political.
I think success is defined when you look forward to Monday morning.
Oh, that is good.
I
That
do
should be
believe
your
that.
that should be your quote or fact of the week. Go on, say it again.
I think that is. If you're looking forward to going to work, you've won all life's lotteries. Doesn't matter how much you earn. I absolutely.
Sinclair. You get me.
I don't think a lot of people.
Do you look forward to Monday?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
I think that can be skewed though, because you said you've won all of life's lotteries if you look forward to going to work.
Yeah,
So
well, I do.
some people would look forward to going to work to get away from other things.
Yeah,
So that's not
why
success, is it?
Yeah.
Looking forward to going to work
Entrepreneur.
isn't, yeah.
No, but I mean, like being fulfilled in what you do is basically what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
And I think that's a tiny, tiny percentage of people.
Do you feel fulfilled?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I
How
get
can
stressed.
you counterbalance like being fulfilled yet still trying to chase more and more and more and more? How does that work?
I don't know. That's just the way I'm wired up. I wish I wasn't like that sometimes, but it is who I am.
But you are. But so you would say you're fulfilled. Are you fulfilled, Chuds?
Yeah, I am.
Are you fulfilled?
No,
JB?
I'm not.
You're sat there smiling though, so it's
I'm
obviously not a
smiling
problem.
through pain. No, it is.
No.
You either laugh or you cry.
Yeah. Well, you don't fulfill. You don't enjoy what you do for work.
I do, but I'm getting annoyed at myself. I'm like, you're getting to be an old man now, and you're not where you should be.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm getting really annoyed at
I think
that's
myself.
this
because-
is different.
I'm getting frustrated.
Because what's that brilliant quote? That comparison is the enemy of
Thief
joy.
of joy.
Yeah, and that is very true.
Yeah. I think if I could go back in time, I'd be Mike Chadley.
No, I do think people go, well, I should have this and should have that, and
Do you know what?
I should have
If I don't,
a bigger
I don't
house,
sort
or
of
I should have more holidays. Like, but why? I mean, that's
Grass is never greener.
no. Have you got great friends as well? That wow, a lot of people don't have great friends.
Yeah, that's
They don't.
true. You got good. If you got
You got a happy
great friends,
relationship.
yeah. Got a good relationship.
Yeah, I have.
It's got it all, isn't it?
Chuds really does. He has. I
He
know
has got it
for
all,
a fact,
hasn't
he has great friends. He works with some super attractive people.
I don't really see
Man.
James that often anymore.
That's interesting, actually. Your dynamics change because as you're doing more and more stuff of like just doing basically non-stop phone calls all day, every day, and there's not like you can't do. We were laughing sort of in the break in between, like you can't really do a day in the life of someone having a bunch of private phone calls. So your dynamic with working together has changed, hasn't it?
Recently, it has.
So do you still get as much fulfillment from what you do as you're not doing so much like day-to-day stuff with him?
Yeah, because the things we
Even more so. It's more enjoyable.
no, the things we're doing are still interesting, aren't they? The videos and that are still.
Yeah. So do you get more fulfillment from the content you're making or the job that you do?
Yeah, that's the same, isn't it? I think because the results are getting good as well, so it's exciting.
So do you take fulfillment from the results as well as the content you make? Because you're an artist, so can you go, that's a good piece of art, I don't give a damn if anyone likes it or not. I can see that that's good.
Yeah,
Or-
I enjoy doing that,
or
regardless of if anyone watches it. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah.
But if it's a good piece of art and people will see it,
Even better, yeah.
that is even better.
Yeah, it's like a little icing on the cake, isn't it? If
Yeah.
it gets results.
Ice on the cake, 28 years old. Wise. Jesus Christ. I'm
He's
coming
been-
back as
he's
Chuds.
been-
In a different life, I'm coming back as Chuds.
Chuds is right. He's becoming. He's going to become the director of. This is obviously what we're doing. Becoming a. It's I don't get involved in any of the sponsorship opportunities. I let Chuds decide who we work with. I mean, I would say no, I don't want to work with them,
Yeah, I've got to ask for your.
but I
Go
don't
ahead.
do any of the negotiations or.
Yeah, interesting. I don't even know how we got on that tangent, but I
Are
think
you
I
fulfilled,
like it.
JB?
No, I'm not. We've already covered this off.
But why? Because what you think you should have a bigger house or something?
No,
like that?
not that. I
You
just
should think you should drive a different car.
no. I think it's unfulfilled potential.
Can I say something that you are in a very happy marriage, aren't you?
Yeah,
I know,
I am.
that's-
Haley's not.
No, but I can absolutely tell that. Honestly, mate, not many people have that.
I know. I remember you last year when I was having my difficult period, and you were like, you do know that you've already won the life lottery, and everything else is just a
watch you with
bonus.
your
So I was
kids,
like, okay, interesting.
Honestly, most people don't have that.
No, I get that.
I know some people that are way ahead of you in terms of what you think you should be ahead in, but they're desperately unhappy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's quite nice, isn't it?
It's true. I mean, you and Haley are very, very, I mean, you can just see it. It's not like you take the piss out of each other and you've been together forever, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that is. I sent her a message this morning saying we've pretty much won the life lottery already. Like we should be grateful for that.
you really are happy, I can tell it. You know, when I saw you at the Magic Makers Ball, I was like, oh, they've cracked it.
Yeah, that's
And I'm telling you now, I think that's less than 5% of people have that.
yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe I should be more grateful. In fact, maybe she should be more grateful. She won the life lottery, didn't she? Big time.
It's only when you discuss things like this, you know, that you
Gives you perspective.
the reason you could absolutely have the financial wins, which is I think what you want, but you just need to stick with something for more than 10 minutes.
Okay, we're done with this section of the show.
It is true. It's true. I know that. Like it is very easy to give things up. I remember watching Stephen Bartlett talk about this. You know, he said, you know, if you're a quitter, then you're a winner. You know, because you've got the power to quit things. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that.
It's easy to say that from your
I've done so well.
VC-backed tower, isn't it?
I've done so well because I've been a good quitter.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you should quit the wrong things, but we're not talking about smoking here.
Yeah.
You know, like if you've got a good business or a good model, that's crucially. If you've got a business model that has been tried, tested, proven before, you know, that they take time to build. You know, that you're on a 5 to 10 year journey. Like I really do believe that things really only get good-ish after year 5. But really good at year 10.
Yeah, I've heard you say that a lot.
And the data backs us up on that.
Yeah. What year are you in now?
I mean
20, aren't you?
I mean in one thing. So let's take building our main YouTube channel and this podcast. So this podcast, in its guise before you, I think is 5 years old, isn't it now, Chuds?
2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was COVID just before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can literally, like a fortune teller, know that in 5 years' time, this will be on its own, £1 million plus business, just the podcast, because it would have had 10 years behind it. And I don't know, the world rewards time in the game. People, you know, I always talk about retail here is that, you know, Harrods will be there in 100 years' time. You just know it because they're rewarded for the 180 years they've already had. That Lindy effect thing.
Very true. Well, there you go. If you've got
that's why I keep saying to people, you know, buy businesses that are established.
Yeah.
You know, really is a great thing to do.
As you're buying more, is there anything else that you'd add in? Because you will say £1 million turnover.
No, I'm now thinking, start looking at things that are 5 million plus.
Really?
Yeah, the bigger
do you have to do like the baby things though? Because that whole like turn around, buy something. Do you need that experience?
I think you do need a few things to go wrong as well, so that you're best prepared. And you know, I'm guilty as an entrepreneur. I look at new things. You know, part of this that I always do is self-therapy for me. You know, I always talk about the regular KPIs because I need to remind myself those regular KPIs. You know, I need to remind myself that, you know, not look at the new, look at the successful. Remind myself you must innovate or you evaporate. It's very, you know, this is incredibly difficult. You know, the marketplace is always changing. The marketplace always wants the new, so you're driven to the new, but then actually the new can be boring sometimes. That's why people have affairs and go off and want new relationships. You know, but usually that's why I love saying that. My new favourite phrase of this year is the diamonds you seek are underneath your feet. I just really believe that. I really do believe that.
Wow, some absolute wisdom there. Right, shall we get Matt on the pod?
Let's get him on.
And find out if we can help him with some of his business challenges. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey gang, we're going back to the pod in just a moment, but I wanted to tell you about Entrepreneurs University. This is a platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners that are serious about growth. There's 100 video lessons from me on everything in business, raising finance, buying companies, property investment, and everything in between. Attached to each video is a downloadable PDF that goes into more detail about what we've learned in the video. It goes one step further than that because I've also put stuff that you won't get anywhere else onto Entrepreneurs University. The lessons go into way more detail, but not just that. You're going to get my business plans, my spreadsheets, and all the files that I use to drive the KPIs in my business. Just think about how powerful that could be for your business. And here's the good news. You can try Entrepreneurs University for free. 14-day free trial. After that, it will cost you just $49.99 a month. That's less than a pair of Nikes to grow the profitability in your business. There's a link in the video description, and I cannot wait to see you in Entrepreneurs University.
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good stuff. Right. So we've talked about Rap Cartel previously, just very briefly. Touched on where you guys are at. Been going a couple of years, 25 grand a year, 5 staff, etc. But it sounds like you've been on one hell of a journey. Take us back, if you don't mind, mate, and tell us about how Rap Cartel came about. And if you don't mind, touching on the previous business and all the property stuff, just so we've got context to the content, that'd be very useful as well, please, pal.
Yeah, so I owned another rat company. This was probably about 4 years ago now. I had that for about 4 or 5 years. Kind of just reached a bit of a. I didn't really feel it was kind of going to go too much further, or I didn't really know what to do with it too much at that point. Had a bit of an out of someone that was interested in buying it. So kind of just took the opportunity and thought I'm going to go and do something different. Decided to try and give property a bit of a go. Didn't really go quite to plan. Ended up kind of having a.
Matt, can we just
project.
quickly just ask for listeners, when you sold your business, was that a woohoo moment of building your bank account up, or was it really to get your time back?
Yeah. So it was for it wasn't anything super crazy, but it was for a 6-figure amount. So it was I mean, to me at the time when I was 22-ish, was quite a nice day.
It was 22 when you were 22 when you sold it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Come on, let's ask the awkward question. Can you tell us what you got, or do you want to keep it a secret?
It was for 150,000. So
that's a
nothing
lovely
super
day
crazy,
out.
but it was.
That is a lovely day.
It's a lovely day.
22 years old. 22 years
lovely
old.
Day out.
You're only just counting in your pubes in tens there. Well done, mate. Did that? I mean, that's a great thing as well, that you can then. I found my first grey pubic hair as well last week.
Oh, did you?
It was in a kebab. Sorry. I'm sorry. No. I mean, that's that. So now you must have a mindset getting ready to sell from whatever you do is it?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely went into this new one with the intention of almost doing the same thing again, but bigger and better.
If you ask now, banks, they always say once a client sold once, that's very, very good at selling again and again and again.
Yeah, and obviously because I've done it the first time around with the last one, obviously I've learned all my mistakes and everything from that time around, and also kind of what kind of steps to skip, I suppose, to kind of get to a certain stage. So, I mean, I'd almost say that like after we've only been going for just over a year now, and I'd say we're pretty much at the same stage as we were after 4 or 5 years with the last one.
So what does revenues look like now?
So monthly revenues were kind of about 25k a month, and kind of so turning over sort of roughly 300, 350-ish a year at the minute.
Mm.
And are you? Do we read this right? You're living in, or you had been living in the actual on the industrial estate where you work out?
Yeah. So I mean, it's probably not something that as long as the landlord's not listening. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been living like in the unit that we operate from day one. So it was kind of. To me, it wasn't really that much of an issue. I was quite happy to do that and to sacrifice that side of things to make sure that things kind of got off the ground and everything sort of.
How big is your unit?
So we are at 2,500 square foot with the mezz and everything, probably about 3.5.
And what rent do you pay for that a year? I'd love to know.
So we're at 30,000 a year.
It's interesting, Matt. So that's not that different from down south.
It's not hugely different compared to like what I was paying before my last unit. It's a little bit cheaper, but not massive.
And whereabouts up north are you?
So we're in Warrington, between Manchester and Liverpool.
There's a big thing about what I understand about, if anyone does for some crazy reason want to keep doing buy-to-lets and stuff, you can buy 150 grand property, 3-bedroom house up north, or a 3-bedroom house in Brentwood in Essex for 600 grand, and the rentals won't be hugely different, maybe £600 a month different to have that property down south.
So like I've still got a student house in North Wales in Bangor.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the time it was very run down when I bought it, but I bought it for literally £100,000. And yeah, I mean, now it's worth maybe 175 or something, but that still generates £2.5 grand a month. It's an HMO rather than a buy to let, but it's it's not massively different to kind of what it would have been down south where I was before.
The only thing is you get better capital growth down south. Better rental up. Just quickly. So obviously you had this little payday. Why the AVA? What happened? What caused that little problem?
Well, kind of in the process of doing all the property things, so it was all kind of just in and around COVID type time. I had a big issue at the time where the project manager that was doing the property that I still own ended up kind of using a lot of my money for his own project. So that didn't help, and left me sort of quite short and various other problems. Kind of had to borrow a few bits of money to kind of get it across the line. And then sort of timing just wasn't on my side a little bit. When we finished that house, it was when all the interest rates went through the roof. And it just didn't go to plan at all. Basically, it's ended up kind of being on a pretty horrendous rate, which we're just about to kind of remortgage ourselves out of. But yeah, it got to a point where my kind of overheads and stuff were just beyond a point that I was able to kind of maintain. And I just decided to almost kind of say, right, let's pack it in a little bit and make my life a little bit easier, at least so I can sort of move on, and not just get stuck, I suppose.
Yeah. Fully understood. Okay, right. Let's get straight into the challenges, JB.
Yeah, definitely. So challenge number one, where's my challenges? So challenge number one was been watching this podcast for a year, and cash flow is always a problem for most people. However, despite the business being a limited company, me being in the personal IVA definitely restricts most kind of lending I would have previously had access to. On the positive side of things, it's forced me to get creative and make a push to make sure we're generating cash each month. Then you went on to sort of say, okay, so that was the challenge, cash flow being one. It led into the second challenge, which is I'm struggling to think of a model to generate a consistent monthly recurring revenue alongside what we do. There's no consistency in the work that we do, so it's very difficult to predict and to plan as you don't know what is coming through the door each month.
It's probably worth me maybe like going through a bit more about what it is that we do, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we don't just do sort of like car wrapping. We do all sorts of things. To be honest, we do commercial as well. So we do things like with your cafe deli vans, they're all wrapped. So we do that kind of thing. We do paint protection films. So we do a lot of, it's like the clear protection wrap on like supercars and things like that. We do events, and we've recently just kind of got a bit of a contract with Betfred, literally wrapping all the worktops across all the stores across the country. So it's like quite a variety. Anything you can kind of stick a bit of Arnold to, we do it. So yeah, but like I say, there's no kind of consistent. Like I said, we don't know what's coming through the door. It's not a case of predictable numbers or revenue, and it's quite difficult to, yeah.
Yep. So what the challenge was? So how to? Well, I mean,
a monthly recurring model alongside the sort of the one-off stuff. So is the Betfred, is that not like not recurring, but it's more of a contract basis ongoing, or is it like wrap all these things and then it's done sort of thing?
Yeah, in a way. Obviously, it's been a bit of a foot in the door for us to obviously kind of lead into different areas within their business. We're trying to get into actually doing all the events and stuff as well. But I suppose it's kind of like, we don't have any kind of sort of monthly subscription type thing or I don't know, maybe like a contract with like a dealership or something where they give us, say, X amount of cars a week or something. It's quite a difficult one, really.
But what you need to do is good old-fashioned business development. Go out there and get the customers and spend more of your time doing that than operating the business, which, I get when you're small, you're like on the tools, but you just got to find the money to employ someone to do all the wrapping so that you can go out there and build the business.
Which we do, to be fair, and we're not far off getting to that point, but it's like I said, I think I said in my questions or challenges that I definitely want to get to the point where I've got at least sort of 2 to 3 days a week to go out there and do stuff, and I've made a lot more effort recently with We've just kind of had a new partnership with a track day company, which again I'm kind of actively going to like a lot of their events and trying to network with that. I'm doing like a golfing networking thing as well, because that kind of is kind of our target market with the high end clients and different businesses and stuff as well. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to be a lot more proactive with that kind of thing.
Okay. Okay.
You mentioned here as well there's some questions that you had for Jimbo. Let me just make sure reaching out to the right people with bigger companies and bigger contracts. Okay, if we go to the questions here, so what type of
I'd probably change that first one actually, to be fair.
This is the second one that I thought might be useful. So, having never reached this point, how do you put together a contract with bigger companies to do their work? Have you got a template that you've built and used, or is every deal unique? So, are you trying to go after more of those bigger companies for like a Betfred, for example? Now you've got your foot in the door, you can sort of prove that as a case study to other people in that kind of space, or is that taking you out of the environment? Because obviously, wrapping worktops or whatever is very different from the car stuff. Are you trying to just stay in cars, or do you not care what you wrap effectively?
Yeah, I mean, we're not too fussed on what we wrap, I suppose, because a lot of the kind of like with the Betfred thing, because that's all over the country. We can't be all over the country, so we use a lot of freelancers and stuff all around the country to kind of do the installs and stuff for us, and we just kind of do manage the project, I suppose. But it's I suppose it's getting contracts for things like, I don't know, as an example, like with your cafe deli trucks, to say, right, we've got 30 trucks, we need them all wrapped the same, and actually have that kind of written in, and even with the Betfred, I suppose, actually getting it on paper. At the minute it's just as an agreement of, yep, we're going to keep giving you the work for all of this. But I think it, would probably help us if we could actually get it signed and sort of written on paper.
Well, the way to do that, I mean, we do that with some of our clients, is you give them a better price for a 3-year contract.
Right. Okay.
That's what they want. You say, look, we're wrapping these vans for £1,000, but if you give us a 3-year contract and a minimum number of vehicles, it'll be £800, for example. I don't know, but that's they want a wholesale price.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly how it was. I mean, and doing lorries is much easier than cars, isn't it? I mean, the cafe deli vans, I think we do it ourselves because it's just a flat. It's like doing a, you do when you go, because they're box vans.
Yeah, and we do something that's called like a modular wrap now. It's almost like a lot of the BT vans and stuff have done it. It's almost like pre-cut into sections.
Yeah.
So it's kind of almost just like putting together a kit on a van rather than having to actually kind of properly wrap it, which again is like way quicker and more cost efficient for the client and everything. So
what do you do? You got all like the big Roland Epson printer things?
Yeah. So we've got all the big large format printers and everything, and we do everything in house.
So it really is the issue not having enough customers?
I'm not sure really, to be honest, because it's I wouldn't say we don't have enough customers, because we are quite busy. We're always consistently booked up for sort of 2 to 3 weeks in advance, and whatever. But I suppose it's kind of getting more of the bigger ticket items, I suppose, more than anything.
Why though?
Good question.
There's a lot to say.
Less
having
hassle
lots of
is probably one of the bigger things. When you're not dealing with all the kind of loads of smaller little jobs.
There's two schools of thought there. Just want to say that all the Harold and Hilders that pay you all them little jobs and you get cash flow all the time. As soon as you have big contracts, like one of my customers owes me close to £700,000 now.
Yeah,
and every day it's growing up by £40,000. So we all want the allure of a big customer, but they can cause you cash flow problems unless you get an invoice finance line and do all of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of we want to cut out the smaller jobs at all, because you are right. It's definitely on our cash flow, it's a much better scenario. But it's also just a case of kind of getting that one bigger ticket item is, I don't know, feels a good chunk of the diary that you almost don't have to worry about in a way, I suppose.
I mean, if this was my business, I'd be trying to buy a uniform company, and I would probably set up a sub brand for signwriting, so that if there's, because people might not need their vans done every year, but they might go, I need a few signs, and I need some uniform, and that could be much more regular. And then it just, even if you don't make the same sort of profits, what's very good about those types of deals is it keeps the customer transacting with you for when they spend more money. And I find that a very good tactic in business, that you just want people to be part of people's habit. You never want them to go, what was that company 3 years ago that we used? You want to just keep talking to them. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I used to do a lot of that in a smaller scale, but I think it was because it wasn't like a main focus of our business. Obviously, we didn't really get loads of it. But like I say, if it was a business that was solely focused around it, it would probably feed off each other, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why buying one that's doing it saves you a lot of time.
But again, like, so obviously I know you kind of got a bit of a $1 million+ revenue thing. Like, would you still look at that same sort of figure with that kind of area, or?
Yeah, I mean, the bigger you buy, the more opportunity there is.
Yeah.
And they might have, and certainly when you buy in a company, if they've got, say you're buying a big uniform manufacturing company or uniform company or promotions company, and they go, we don't, they might go, you can do our vehicles for us, and it helps that company as well. It's just, I've done very well with that throughout my career. I've bought companies that, I always look, does it help the existing business that we've already got? And does our existing business help the new acquiring business?
You've done it with Rossi, haven't you, in Cafe Deli?
Absolutely.
Really well.
The best one, though, has been when I bought the sand art company. We bought that for like 45 grand, got 60 grand's worth of stock, but we got a massively powerful database. And that acquisition has turned into millions and millions and pounds of revenue because we bought into some holiday parks habits of buying from that company.
So they were already established from buying from sand art.
I mean, it's just like, if you've got Apple Music or you've got Amazon Prime, you go, I will add on other Amazon products because you're in the habit.
Yeah.
It's really, really how we work as human beings. And once you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any, because that was your first question, wasn't it, Matt? What type of businesses to aim to buy in the future that would integrate into the ecosystem? So you're saying uniform.
Yeah, well, you'll know all these things, Matt. There'll be loads for sale as well. Absolutely catastrophic.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of like smaller ones for sale, I think. I was just having a look the other day, and I did see like a large format print signage business and for sale. I mean, it was like 2 million quid or something, but it was there's a few about.
But like on that you should go and see them, even if you can't buy them, because you will come back full of ideas of what's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
people just don't do that enough. I'm very, very. Very.
Do you not kind of have to sort of show that you're even in a position to sort of buy that at all?
I've never done that. No.
Just
people probably do look at me and check out who I am and go, well, he's obviously can do it. But even when I couldn't, even when I was a clown, I would still go and do those things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not a bad idea.
I think I said on the podcast before, I was talking to one of the banks that funds lots of venture capitalist deals. Venture capitalists never worry about having the money to do a deal. They just do the deal and then they work out how they're going to fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're dressed in. It's like what's that story? The Emperor's Got No Clothes. Is that the story where, if everyone looks, you realise, you just think, they're the emperors of finance. Actually, no, they're not. They're the emperors of getting a deal agreed. Yeah. And if the deal is so good, someone will lend you the money to do it.
Yeah.
Your third question was quite interesting, Matt. I think a lot of people will be interested to hear this. So the question was, how much do you feel vehicle branding impacts your business? Is it worth the investment?
I think it's not going to give you a direct return on investment. But if you've got a big fleet of vehicles, like people know the Cafe Deli. I mean, people tag me in Cafe Deli vehicles on Instagram if they see them around. Once you've got like 20 of something, I mean, that is very powerful. It's the subconscious, which is not the sort of marketing I like, JB. I don't like small business owners thinking about that stuff.
No, subconscious, deep-seeded, long-term brand marketing.
It's usually the sort of thing that I get why Coca-Cola do it.
Yeah.
But they're doing it on an international scale,
Yeah.
and that really does work. Absolutely, it does work. But, you know, I would rather entrepreneurs and business owners do direct response marketing. But if you get to a level where, I mean, I'm wearing uniforms on this podcast because I think, well, why not? I might as well. If 100,000 people are going to watch this, I might as well put one of our things on.
Yeah, too right. So, for example, if let's say the fleet of vans, you did a rebrand and they all needed rebrand, you got 20 vans each, it's going to cost you $3,000 a pop, 60 grand. Obviously, you're in a different stage of business, but you going, signing off that 60 grand check for that.
Well, let me tell you
rebrand.
this. I mean, what I will tell you, my first business, Jimbo the Partyman, I always had a sign, and it was massively sign written.
Yeah. Did it work?
Yeah, because I think in those, obviously I do think it works. Why wouldn't you do it? Because if you're driving it around, you might as well get some of that.
Yeah. So you do think it's worth the investment?
As long as you're doing direct response marketing.
As well.
I mean, if you can do it affordably, then you should do it, shouldn't you?
So do you think that, like with Cafe Deli, because obviously you deliver to central London and the home counties every day, and one of your things is you got to have good range and good deliverability. That's why people will stock with you. Do you think there's value then of those, if there's a high street in like Basildon, for example, and those restaurants and cafes keep seeing that deli van every day, dropping off. Do you think that that's the sort of thing that will go, again, it's not your favourite form of marketing, but they are going.
Yeah, that stuff definitely works.
Consistency.
Nike's got the tick on their shoes. Everyone knows, and every other kid wants them because that's the repetitiveness sort of brand placement. Yeah, of course that works. But I've got to say, for business owners and entrepreneurs, I think if you've got $3,000, I reckon you'd get better results depending on your sector on Facebook ads, Google ads, text message marketing, emails, putting letters in the post, picking up the phone, doing all those things, but yes, of course, why, if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have done it when I was 16, 17, 18 with my first vehicle.
What about for a business like Matt's to do direct response marketing to every sort of supercar trade company, every showroom?
Yeah,
like that
should be doing it. If I had this, I would be I would employ someone to do the wrapping. I'll be out every day. Start early in the morning. I would want to make 100 calls a day and go to as many businesses as I can. And I'd have some low barrier to entry stuff. Like, do you need uniform? We do signs and everything like that. People go, I don't need a new sign. They subconsciously think that's £1,000 probably to do a sign. Oh, actually, we do need 10 T-shirts. And I would do the 10 T-shirts because that would then lead on to my higher average customer value stuff. I'd want to get in people's habits. I'd want to be their monthly, weekly shop. I'd want to sort of say, even if I farmed out the printing, I'd want to control all of that for them so that I become part of their habit.
Interesting.
It's very powerful, very powerful becoming people's habit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, like you said, probably just having that, because we don't have massive amounts of kind of the smaller barrier to entry. Obviously, we do like very basic signage for people on vehicles and, boards and banners and that kind of thing, but like I say, having a lower ticket item just to get them in the door, I suppose. And
what you don't want, what you don't want is, we've all done this. We've had a kitchen installed in our house, and these people have done a great job. 7 years later, you move house, because that's on average how often people move house. What was that company that done our kitchen? You and your wife what were they called? Where were they based? Oh, come on. Who was it? Was it Dave? No, it wasn't Dave. I can't remember. That happens way too often to businesses. Way too often. And that's why, who was that person that wrapped all of our vehicles 3 years ago? What was his name? They had done a really good job. Let's just Google, and then the person that comes up first on Google wins. You just want to stay in people's mindset.
Yeah.
Have you got any other questions that you'd like to chuck in our direction, Matt, or Jimbo's direction?
Yeah, so it's an idea that I've had, to be honest. It's to do with with a lot of the main dealers, we kind of want to get involved with a lot of them. We're mainly PPF is like our higher ticket item, really, is the one that we kind of make the most profit on. And we've kind of got the idea of almost going into the dealer and saying, look, we'll do one of your current stock show cars for nothing, and then just sort of actually just pay us when you sell the car. I suppose it's similar-ish, I suppose, to what you did with your teddy bears, in that you kind of do the service first and just pay for us when you actually sell it.
I think that's very different. What I was doing there was I was giving them some stock, knowing that there was going to be lots of transactional value and lifetime value, like they would buy very quickly from us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you feel like you trust a person, you can help them. You know, I've definitely done things like that, but that is not comparable to what I was doing. I was giving a holiday park £1,000's worth of stuff, knowing that it could turn into £1 million. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
But if you're, I mean, if you trust the person, obviously things like that really do win the day in business. Yeah,
I suppose it's kind of just getting the relationship started, showing that what we can do.
If you think, if your gut instinct says, I should be doing this, I trust this person, blah, 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 then that's good. No.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, really. Other than that, that's well, I think you've kind of written out most of my questions, really, haven't you?
Good stuff. Well, look, we wish you loads of success in this business, and I think
where can people go, by the way? It's a very nice looking website as well. If you want a cool looking car, where can they go to get more of your service, mate?
So our website is rap-cartel.com, Instagram, Facebook, Rap Cartel UK, and for any vehicle wrapping, commercial PPF needs, give us a shout, and be happy to help.
Amazing stuff. Thank you for being on the show, mate. We wish you well with all of your ongoing ventures. Thanks for being on the pod, and thank you for being so open and honest and transparent on the podcast. It's great listening for people and lots of learnings and lessons for the listeners at home. So thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you very much. Cheers,
Matt.
guys.
Take care. Cheers, pal. All the best.
Bye-bye.
There you go, Matt, all the way from Rap Cartel. It's a really cool looking website, by the way. Right, it is time for the Traits of the Greats. It's the point of the show where award-winning entrepreneur James Sinclair rates and reviews our guest for the day, and he talks about how well they've scored out of 8. I know what you're thinking. It'd be better to be a top 10. You can work it out as a percentage, but that's not the way we do it here, guys. We do 8s because 8s are greats. Come on, Sinclair. What you
start
got
with
me?
the end in mind.
No.
Passionate about their cause.
Oh, yeah. He loves a rap, this fella. You mad?
Untold amounts of resilience.
I don't think you can go through what he's been through and live on a shop floor without having resilience.
Create great relationships with people. Didn't know that, did we?
We don't know.
Commercial awareness.
I don't think we can.
No, I don't think we can give that.
No.
He's an innovator or an evaporator. I think we give him that.
Yeah, go on.
Bull marketeer.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Stays teachable. It's a 4. Knock at the door.
Knock at the door. It's a 4. He's got a 4. He's got a 4. Knock at the door. He's got a 4. Chad's still happy.
Oh, I love it.
What was I going to say there? I've completely forgotten. Sorry, go on then, Chads. I'll have that. Time, mate. Thank you very much. It's time for this. It's not a seamless. It wasn't a seamless. Oh, sorry, it's your go, love. Go on. Tell us what you got. Then, before everyone goes, I've got a right treat. Someone has hit me up on Instagram, and I've got some James Sinclair gold coming up.
Oh, really?
Stick around to the end of the show.
How much was the global automotive?
Easy for you to say. Automotive.
How much was the global automotive rap films market valued in 2024? This is full raps, mobile advertising, and personalisation. No idea.
Oh, go on. Read that again one more time.
Okay, here we go, gang. One more time for JB. How much was the global automotive rap films market valued at in 2024?
Okay.
This is full raps, mobile advertising, personalisation.
Right.
I mean, it's a big number, isn't it? It's the whole world. It's not just the UK.
It's a global.
What was...
not quite rapping. It's beatboxing, but
30 billion.
no, because now you're going to cheat. I'm not going there. I mean, it will turn absolute wally.
I'm going 10 billion.
He's going 10 bill. I'm going 30 bill. Chud, did you know the answer to this?
What was the last one?
No, you can join in.
What was the last one that he won? We said, what was the last episode? It was, what was the last one? Just if you got. Why are you laughing so much?
What is happening here?
What was it that I got it right, but you were right? It was.
Was it the jewellery one?
Was it jewellery?
Guest jewellery?
Yes, you got that right, didn't you, JB?
Yeah, I said 9 billion and it's 17 and a half.
It's 17 and a half,
Yeah.
So I'm going to be right again here, aren't I? 30 billion.
I can't imagine.
It is, I bet it
There's
is.
30 billion pounds worth of. Well, maybe there is.
Around the globe?
Yeah.
Most of the people in Essex have
Come
got
on,
something
it's
done. They'd
mine.
have like a wrapped bit in the middle, wouldn't they? And
The answer is 35 billion. Oh, no. There's a dot in there. 3.5 billion.
not bad.
It's projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 23.4%. North America leads the market share with 35% share in 2024. Passenger car applications dominate the market, accounting for nearly 60% of the share in 2020.
Goddamn right, they love a rap in North America, James Sinclair.
Give me my trophy. I need to.
Okay.
Here we go. Look, I am the winner.
Okay.
Chuds has got the, JB's got the golden spoon.
The golden spoon. Right, someone sent this through to me the other day. In amongst all of the abuse that I get now on Instagram, anything that I do, people are like, oh, Jimbo official. Oh, Gaines official, because I've posted about going to the gym, because it holds me accountable to go to the gym. Someone the other day was like, I think it's about time you had comeback on James Sinclair.
Yeah.
And ironically, for a podcast that says that they never do religion or politics, how about this? He has founded James Sinclair YouTube channel from like 2007, but it's James Sinclair as Jimbo the Partyman outside somewhere about to go and vote.
Oh, yeah, that was.
This is so brilliant.
That was me. That was done for April Fools.
Okay.
So we started a party called the Magic Party. No, the Partyman Party.
The Partyman Party.
And I stood outside the local government offices.
You did.
With my policies.
So this is 2010 general election. So Lou has sent this through, who's from Scoops 1504. Lou, he's a fan of the podcast. Says, hey, how's it going, James Butt Official? I've just stumbled across some very early Sinclair on YouTube you might be interested in. Hilariously, he sounds just like your Sinclair impression. Surely some ammo for you to return fire on the podcast.
Oh, I done well out of that. I got in the local papers, the news. I had the Conservative Party contact me because they thought I was actually going to stand.
Jimbo the Partyman from 10 years ago. This is how long he's been making
It's
content
more.
for.
15 years ago.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, 15 years ago. No description had been added to this video. He didn't understand the power of SEO back in those days, did he? But this is James Sinclair as the party man saying what he's going to be doing for the elections. We can't hear. Why can't I hear this through the thing?
We'll have to add it in the edit.
Oh, we'll have to, yeah. So, Jim, Chud, if you can put this in, because I don't know if I'll be able to play this, but here you go. So, I might
You don't need to show it. They'll just do.
Because I think I can bring greatness to power. I'm going to build parks everywhere. I'm going to knock down flats. I'm going to knock down houses and build big play areas. And then I just have a big party all the time. It's going to be like magic.
Have you thought this through? Where are people going to live?
Well, I mean, obviously that is a problem, but we can build up tents in the park. We just live in a park and it's going to be glorious and fun in every way. Yes, and everyone will get one of these. And it's going to be great because that's what I want people of Farrell to have. I want them to have a good party every day and we'll send them through the post that everyone will get. So when you're feeling low, you can just go and have a good party every day. And a little magic one as well. That'll be the first thing I do. That'll be the first thing.
I love the fact that he thinks that you sound like my impression of you, because I think it's kind of right, to be fair. So there you go. Talk about.
I can remember feeling really nervous because the security were coming out to say, "What are you doing?" Because we were filming, and
Which back in those days, like not everyone was like filming content, were they?
But I remember now as well, I was doing a theatre show. It was part of the promotion for the theatre show. It comes on the end. It's like, and are you doing something in the theatre?
Because you would like sell out theatre shows with this sort of stuff, wouldn't you?
Well, wouldn't you want to go and see that?
I mean, there's a variety of reasons why I wouldn't want to go and see that, for sure. Anyway, there you go. So there's James Sinclair from 15 years. Look how youthful you look there. There's still a bit of like the seriousness of you that comes through there. Because you're sort of like doing like the clowny bit, and they're like, well, where are people going to live? And there's almost you sort of switch. You sort of switch. It's like a multi-million pound like
that there, I was worried about being chased out by some security and stuff. But
right. Well, if you have enjoyed today's episode of the podcast, please feel free to let us know on.
Do you know the good thing about that video though? That shows you how long it takes to build something up.
Yeah.
Well, I had a serious sized business then. It was probably 2-3 million revenue. Back then, it takes a long time, and I was doing stupid things like that to get attention because I couldn't afford massive amounts on marketing.
And it worked, didn't it?
I went to. There's a good video of me on the internet when I won award shows. I would go into every award show, wear a bright purple tuxedo because that was the Partyman colours, and then I would get up on the stage and pull out giant, massive ones bigger than human beings, that all folded up like in my pocket, and I would get the shot for the paper, and it would say Jimbo from Partyman World. And because local papers are really important back then.
Yeah,
not now. So I would do all things like that. And, I miss him.
You miss that guy?
Jimbo, yeah. The life was
different.
Different, yeah.
Different then.
I talk about him in the third person. I mean, that it was such a, I was gigging so much. It was such a big part of my life.
Did you have to like put him to bed at a certain point and go, right, I'm not a Jimbo anymore. I'm now like James Sinclair, serious entrepreneur.
Yeah, I mean, I can snap into it. I mean, when I've done it at the Magic Makers Ball, I say
it's still there, isn't it?
Come to me and help me deliver the lines, sort of ask the universe, that muscle memory comes out. Although I would never get nervous because I was doing it so often.
Yeah.
I never worry about making a YouTube video because it has become habit now.
Yeah.
But, when I hosted the Magic Makers Ball, I thought, I really need to make sure you come back to me now and just help me be funny and get
So do you have to psych yourself up in
No, I'm definitely
those sorts of moments?
So I was so doing that so often that I didn't have to think about what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's just lovely, isn't it? Like Elton John, like can you just play your song? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no.
Boom, boom, boom. And I had that with him, I could just turn him on and I'd have routines and lines and jokes and it was just all there because I was doing it so often.
So often, yeah.
So, but that's not anything, Chud's editing a YouTube. He knows where it all goes and, and that's when you have that, it can become very joyful, can't it? Because you can just
do the thing at anywhere at any time.
I mean, I done a talk and a business awards do and they wanted me to do 20 minutes. I hadn't prepared anything, but I knew, because I'm doing that so often, I know all the greatest hits, I know all the notes, and I've just got to compose something. And I literally in the middle, I had some place cards and I just wrote down Chud's seen me do that loads of times.
M equals S, entrepreneur's pyramid.
Yeah, I was thinking, and then I gauged the room and I tweaked a little bit and, I had a few conversations with local council and I could just deliver it. And I was like, I love that when you can do that. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
And so people just go, oh, that's when people watch someone and they go, that looks effortless.
Effortless, yeah.
Because a lot of effort went in for years beforehand.
I was talking to a client about this, about podcasting the other day, because there's an exec producer who's working on a show with us at the moment and they were formerly at the BBC. And we were talking about Steve right in the afternoon. Like that show looked like it was effortless, but there was so much effort from the moment that everyone got in that building to the moment that they left, because every link, every like throwaway line was premeditated. It looks seamless, like Chris Evans' breakfast show.
Practice.
It just looks seamless, but there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah, but what the mastery is being so good, because you've done it so often, and that's what Chris Evans and Steve Wright had. Like they could. The nuances, the 1% that you don't really realise why it's so magical to watch.
Yeah.
And when I was entertaining, I knew that I had got to that level. I really knew that I could get into any room, and no matter what the room was,
You could turn that room.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
very magical when, well, it's not, it's a great feeling when you know you're that.
Did you ever have this? So I used to do this when I was performing. Like, I used to love like a rogue crowd who hated you to start with and turning them.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love
Yeah,
turning a crowd.
Yeah.
Especially
I used to love when I was younger as well. People would think, he looks so young. He's not going to be able to do this job very well. And then at the end, you got them. But that happened less and less for me because I was, building a personal brand.
Yeah.
And when I started speaking, I had the exact same thing. It was really weird because I would do Jimbo and I was like had a massive audience and people that wanted to book me. Then I started speaking and doing it for free.
Yeah.
And going around and speaking for free and having to build an audience again.
And then that audience isn't come and see Jimbo, they come and see James Sinclair.
Yeah, who's he?
So there's a TED Talk actually that you did.
Yeah, that was years ago.
And the TED Talk is James Sinclair does Jimbo.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
really.
if you watch that,
it was the transition.
Back, yeah, you can see the transition.
Because I was
like
leaning
a wand at the back. People have thrown a wand.
Well, I was leaning on that. I talk about
it's a safe
him.
Space, isn't it?
Yeah, I was leaning on it because I know, you could just make them laugh.
Yeah.
And everyone's, as long as you make people laugh, they're going to love you. But actually then you have to change. And when we started the YouTube channel, I was leaning on that because that was where I knew I'm not like that anymore. I mean, I love a joke and I love entertaining people. And when I stand up, I keep thinking now that I should do stand up just for me.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be very good at it. I mean, I wouldn't tell jokes, but I would, I'm very good at taking the mick out of people and reading rooms and doing situational stuff. And I keep thinking I should, but I just don't have time.
Would you actually want to do it?
Yeah. It was when you make people laugh wholesale,
it's a lovely feeling, isn't it?
And it's controlled.
Yeah.
It's not just, me and you and Chud's having a situation over lunch and taking the mick out of each other. And if it doesn't work out, that's all. But when it's done like a stand-up comedy or entertainment comedy, when you're very good at it and you've just practiced and harnessed those lines and you know exactly when they're going to drop, honestly, your ego just goes into overdrive because you're like, not many people can do this.
Yeah, very true. Well, a different lifetime ago. If you have enjoyed the episode today, please feel free to let us know via a 5-star review. Let us know in the comments on YouTube. And don't forget, there's events that are coming up. James Sinclair, hard to sell them down that camera.
We're doing our theatre show, which does actually turn into stand-up comedy.
It does.
More than our seminars.
It does.
Our seminars are very serious because we usually get very serious business owners coming to them. But the theatre show is a little light entertainment, smuttered, that's the wrong word, sprinkled is a better word, sprinkled with personal development, entrepreneurship and business. And if you'd like to come and spend a couple of hours with us in London, you can get your tickets. They're £32 plus VAT plus booking fee, which is paid to the Leicester Square Theatre. Link on our website, jamessinclair.net. I think we put a link in the video description as well, Chance. We shall do that. But if you're serious and you really want to grow the profitability of your business, and one evening isn't enough, come and spend 2 days with us at Business Masterclass in London. This is a 2-day event where we learn how to buy companies, raise money, get more customers, make your business more profitable. It's all coming up. Business Masterclass. Tickets and information, jamessinclair.net.
See you in the next pod. Ta-da.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching today, gang. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now, look, we're looking for some great businesses to come on the podcast. If you've got challenges, but you're desperate to grow your business and you can't necessarily work out how to do it on your own, you'll be a perfect candidate to come here on the podcast. It's absolutely free to come on the show. Go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and there's a podcast button. Click on the podcast button, fill in the application form, and we'll do our very best to get you on the show and try and grow your business. If you're loving the podcast, make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking here. And why not give this one a watch? I think you'll like it.